AFC showdown with huge playoff implications between Detroit and Dallas. Lions remain in the hunt for a postseason berth with a 44-30 win over the Cowboys. Welcome into the Detroit Lions Live postgame show presented by Curado Insurance. Alongside the Super Bowl champ Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Detroit's chances of making the playoffs have now been boosted to 55%. If the Lions lost tonight, it would fall below 20%. This was a must-win game for Detroit, and the Lions answered the bell, LB.
Hey, this was a playoff game, Danny. This was the first of many that we have coming up. And, man, like you say, where the answer, the bell, Detroit Lions, the fans, the whiteout, just everything was set up for us to come in here and get a great, great victory. And those guys were so resilient. It was unbelievable. It was a great game, and I'm glad we got that victory.
Tonight was a heavyweight match between two of the top offenses in the NFL. Over 600 combined passing yards, 74 points later. Detroit contained Javonte Williams in the run game for Dallas, forced Dak Prescott to go to the air, where Detroit picked him off twice. Big numbers in here. 5 sacks for Detroit. Get this, Lomas. They had 5 sacks in their last 4 games. 5 coming tonight. They heard defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard when he said, do something, get to the quarterback this week.
I mean, and I love what Kelvin Shepard did, too, by mixing up his personnel, by mixing up the schemes a lot. And, I mean, Muhammad, MG, Danny came through big time today, and that's what players do. When you're given that opportunity, you have to seize the opportunity. He was one of the many players on the defensive side of the ball, as well as the offensive side of the ball, as well as special teams that come up with big plays to help us seal this victory.
Defensive end El-Quadin Muhammad, 3 sacks tonight, make that 9 on the season. He now leads Detroit in getting to the quarterback this season. And in-stadium host Anthony Bellino talked with the big guy post-game.
Our fans are down to the field right now with the number 96, El-Quadin Muhammad, 3 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 TFLs, 4 quarterback hits, living in the backfield. AQ, what was working for this pass rush here tonight?
I mean, listen, our coach challenged us early in the week. We knew how important this game was, and we knew we had to rush up front to get this dub, and we came out on top.
How about the atmosphere here inside Ford Field? You know, a global audience, worldwide on Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football. This place was rocking.
It's amazing. It's nothing better than Detroit.
Now, what do you want to tell these fans here that stuck around all the way to the end? Big-time victory over the Cowboys. The playoff push is on. 44-30 is the final score. What do you want to tell these fans?
Without these fans, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you, Detroit.
Fans, make some noise for number 96, El-Quadin Muhammad.
Man, a few words, but they sure do. They sure do work. Ali McNeil and Jack Campbell also getting in on the sack party tonight. Kelvin Shepard said, hey, we have to affect the quarterback if we want our secondary to play the style of coverage that they need to play, especially against the #1 passing offense in the NFL in Dallas.
Excuse me, pardon me.
That guy there, man, that's the voice that just walked past us. And
you missed it. Yeah, we have no proof.
I know. But, Danny, you are so right. And we've been talking about it, right, all year long, that pass coverage and pass rush, they're tied at the hip. And it was ever so more important tonight because the pressure that the guys were able to get up front really helped those guys in the backfield. And Kelvin Shepard's right. I mean, we're predominantly a man coverage team. And to play man coverage, you can't let those quarterbacks sit back there and get comfortable and scan the field. And, man, we pressured Dak Prescott so much, hit him so much that we got him off his spot. And that's what we need to continue to do to the rest of these quarterbacks that we're going to face.
Dan Campbell's going to tell his defense, whatever you ate before this game, eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day from here on out until those playoffs. Coach Campbell is standing by at the podium. Let's hear from him.
Proud of the guys. You know, they rallied, man. They showed up. You know, the work was there all week. It always is, but the intensity, the urgency, You know, the guys don't ever get frazzled. They don't get panicked. They just go to work, and they did it again. We talked about takeaways. Man, we got takeaways. We got 3 of them. 2 of them turned into 14 points. You know, we were able to turn those up. And then the last one, we were able to kneel it, you know, after Reed's pick. So, you know, a number of guys played really good for us. You know, Muhammad with the 3 sacks, that was big time. You know, Hutch draws a lot of attention. He got some one-on-ones. Man, he won his one-on-ones. That was huge. You know, Jack Campbell was all over the field, had a punch out. TK in the return game, Tom Kennedy was huge for us, big time. So was Sailors. Special teams played a huge role. And then Goff, man, I told him we were going to put this on him. This game we were going to put on him, and it was going to start with him. And, man, he really lit the fire for us. And then St. Brown, man, we didn't know if we were going to be able to get him. Once again, St. Brown does what St. Brown does. If he can play, he's going to play. And he didn't want any plays off either, by the way. Like, he's going in to compete. He'll block. He made some explosive plays for us. J-Mo stepped up. Just a number of great performances. I thought Gibbs showed up. Demo. The guys we talked about, man, we challenged a number of our guys. Man, they really showed up for us. So that's a damn good win. That team is hot. That was a hot team coming in here. That's a potent offense. And, you know, was it perfect? No. We still got some stuff that wasn't good. You know, we had some of these penalties. We had some young guys that we got to clean some of this up, you know, false starts, stuff like that. But we overcame a lot, and that's what this team does, so I'm proud of them.
Can you speak to the complementary effort of the football game you talked about?
That was awesome.
And then your offense turning it into touchdown special teams. When you guys play that well in all 3 phases, you got to believe you're pretty tough to beat, right?
Well, that is one of the that game there is one of the few we've had where we really played complementary football. I mean, really, really did, you know. And to be able to score right before halftime, we come out, we get the takeaway. It was a great job by Barnes. And then we turn it into points. I mean, that was huge, you know. All of that, the whole sequence of, you know, just the momentum and carrying it and helping each other out. And so everything was big, and the guys really stepped up. But we did. We played complementary football. And that, above all, is what really makes a difference. That's what good teams do. You know, it doesn't matter how good your offense or defense is. Man, if you're not able to, like, help each other out when you need it with one of the phases, man, it's tough. It makes it tough, and we were able to do that today.
What about St. Brown, and you know, when did you decide that he was going to play? How close was it? And how much this is just presence being on the team, a ripple effect on everybody else in the offense?
Yeah, it's huge. Well, you know, St. Brown is what we are. He's what we are. And that guy is, where he goes, we go. And his toughness and his willpower, his desire to compete, to help those guys around him, to do whatever it takes to win is second to none. I mean, he's rare, man. His mentality, I mean, he's got, his mindset is, it's just, he refuses to fail. He refuses to let things, nothing is going to, you know, is going to dictate where he goes, what he does, how it's going to be. He will dictate to himself what he's going to do. And it was really yesterday. It came down to, you know, provided nothing happened today when he woke up. You know, we did a workout, and quickly it was like, I'm going. And we watched him, and he was good. And was it perfect? No, but he was going, and nobody was going to talk him out of not playing. I can tell you that. So it was great to have him out there. And, yes, his teammates feed off of that.
Your team now is 15-0 after a loss in the last 3 years. Is there something about the challenge that they take, like you're talking about St. Brown, but the challenge that they all take on when they're kind of up against the wall a little bit?
We need to string some wins together now. You know, it's okay. We battled back. We need to get another one. And but. Look, it's kind of what I'd let off to. These guys do a great job of they take it for what it is, man. They don't get panicked. They don't get panicked. They don't make something out of it that it's not. Don't make more of it than it needs to be. There's a reason why you're not able to win the game, and here's what it is. And oh, by the way, is it correctable? Yes, it's correctable. Well, this is what we got to do moving forward. Where do we find our matchups versus Dallas, for example, on, in all three phases, and let's play our best game that we played all year. That's what you're trying to do. And so I think by doing that and keeping it that way, our guys are able to always answer back. They do. I think where you get in trouble is if you start just that. You start panicking and you start, I mentioned this last week. You got to start doing more than you need to do. Just do your job and do it the best you can do it and make it clean. Make it efficient. Worry about your fundamentals, your technique. And the guy next to you, he'll do his, because we have the right guys here.
Answer to this, but how do you replicate it? You got 4 games left, and especially the offense has looked like it did for a long time the last couple of years. So how do you make sure that this carries over to this?
Well, we clean up the stuff that bit us today. That's what we do. Clean up the stuff that bit us. So we did some good things today. That's good. Let's see if we can tweak a couple of things and do a version of it. But also some of these penalties. Let's cut this out. That's how you do it. You just start trying to reduce the stuff that could cost us. It didn't today. We were able to overcome it, but that's what you do.
Came up big today. What do you think allowed them to have so much success getting Prescott on the ground and creating those big negative plays?
There again, I need to watch the tape just to see exactly how or what or why. But I know this: we had a lot of guys who won their one-on-ones, and we were pretty disruptive there. I already mentioned Muhammad. I thought Mac did some good things in there. Hutch was close a number of times, and he got flushed. And we played pretty good coverage. It wasn't perfect, but all in all, man, we did what we had to do, and we knew we needed to score on offense. Like I say, it's a potent offense, and at the end of the day, we did enough in all three phases.
You shifted guards back and forth. Just what was the thinking there? What did you like out of it, going Frazier, Cologne, back and forth?
Just get Frazier some reps. I mean, he's a young guy. This is about when we threw Mahogany in there last year, and so, we just wanted to get a look at him, and really he kind of, it was just to get him introduced to NFL and try to be smart, and you still want to move the football, but yet try to set him up to where he can have some success. And it's, we stayed away from some plays here, but really he earned the right to keep going. He did good enough to where, all right, let's give him another series. Because really we didn't have intentions of giving him as much as he did. We just wanted to kind of introduce him, and he did some good things, it felt like. So we did. And I thought Cologne did some dang good things too.
Dan, is this a job yet? He kind of run out of superlatives to talk about him, but he tied Barry Sanders' record for most touchdowns by someone under 24. The way you guys used him in the passing game, can you just explain a little bit kind of what he meant to the offense tonight and how dynamic he is to watch even for you on the sideline?
Yeah, he's unique. He's special. Everybody knows what he can do in the run game, and really we couldn't quite get him going the way we really wanted to in the run game now. But yet he did find some pay dirt on a couple of those. But the pass game stuff, he just continues to grow. The more we give him and the more we work with him in practice, we just continue to try to, open his horizons and give him a little bit more. Man, he just grows. He gets better and better, and then he gets in the game, and the routes get crisper and crisper, and he just keeps going, man. There's just not a cap on this dude yet, and there again, he works his tail off. He's freaking smart. He's instinctive. He's a team guy. I mean, he's something else. So the sky's the limit for him. He's just getting started now. He's just getting started.
Any idea on Branch, the severity there?
I don't know. I'll know more tomorrow.
Is this a sort of game and a sort of performance with essentially a playoff matchup today that proves not to the outside world but to your room that this is the recipe going forward, that this is a playoff team?
Yeah, well, I mean, we know what we are, and well, I've said it all along. We can't worry about the outside noise. We're the ones who write our own narrative, man. We're the ones who know what we are and what it takes and why we've had some difficulties, but also why we're able to succeed. We know why. So, it's about us and it's about how we handle our business, and we handled our business today. It was good. And now we get a little breather. We get a couple of days here to catch our breath. and then we get ready for the Rams.
Before you leave, just since he was carted off, are you concerned it's a long?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he didn't finish the game, but there again, I'll know more tomorrow.
Guys, we'll have Jared and Muhammad.
Guys, your prior success has put you at the top of the power rankings list. That's a good thing, right?
Well, just means you've gone from the underdog to the favorite.
But those expectations come from prior success, so that's okay.
What about Cure? Where do you guys rank on the power list?
Actually, we just got named by Forbes as one of the best car insurance companies in America.
Now you're the favorite.
Guess we have a lot in common.
Go Cure.
Go Lions.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to Cure.com to see how you can save. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs now ties Barry Sanders, one of the greatest of all time, for the most touchdowns before the age of 24. He needed 47 tutties to do that. Ja had 3 touchdowns tonight. That's the 4th time he's done that in his career, Lomas.
No, he's big time. I mean, he's a guy that you can feed the ball anywhere on this field, including when you get in the red zone and get tight down here. He runs with power. He runs with speed. He is the ultimate weapon. Congratulations for tying one of the greatest to ever play this game. And look, we still got how many more games left in this season? So, you know, he's on a historic pace, Danny.
Jahmyr is one of the best dual threat running backs in the league with how he can impact both the run and pass games at such an elite level. His receiving game was unleashed tonight. 7 catches for 77 receiving yards, because for the most part, he was bottled up in the run game.
No, he was. But again, great players find ways to affect the game. And if he can't do it running the ball, he can definitely do it catching the ball. He is such a mismatch for the opposing defense. You don't know what or who to put on him. Linebackers can't cover him. Safeties can't cover him. I mean, he is such a mismatch for the opposing defense. So it's just so glad. I'm so happy that we have him as our RB1.
He's RB1. You know what? I think he's RB1 right now. Let's just call it what it is.
We'll call it what it is.
Okay, well, his RB2, I guess. It does feel wrong saying that. David Montgomery is also a weapon in the run game. He and Jahmyr Gibbs have now scored a touchdown in the same game 15 different times. The only other running back duo to do that, Emmitt Smith and Daryl Johnston, they did it 14 times. So the tandem of Montgomery and Gibbs is now one of the best in the NFL.
It really is. Think about that, Danny. You're talking about a Hall of Famer, and you're talking about one of the greatest fullbacks to ever play this game, and these guys have surpassed them. So it's just unbelievable, the records that these guys are breaking, and it's just unbelievable the production that we're getting out of our backfield. And, yeah, I guess we could call it 1A and 1B because those guys feed off each other. We call them Sonic and Knuckles, but they do feed off each other. I thought David was big early in this game, kind of helped loosen up that defense for what Jahmyr was able to do to them later on in the game.
David Montgomery's second quarter touchdown put Detroit up 17-6 in the first half. Looking at this receiving game for Detroit, wide receiver Jameson Williams has another great week here in week 14. Thanks to his ability to sell his routes and get out ahead of defenders, he was a very reliable downfield target for Jared Goff tonight.
No, he was. And, you know, we didn't know what we were going to be able to get out of Amon-Ra today, but just thanks to Jameson for just stepping up. He stepped up these last 2 weeks. He's been a reliable target for Jared Goff. And when you could get him in space, the speed is just undeniable. So, you know, I just love the way we're utilizing him. And those slants, you know, going across the middle of the field, you know, it takes courage to work in that area during the football game. And he's not afraid to go across the middle. So I just think he's developing, and his route tree is developing each and every game that we see it, and Jared's confidence seems to grow more and more in Jameson Williams.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was questionable coming into this game. He was injured last Thursday against the Packers in the first quarter, didn't return back to the game. You didn't know what you were going to get out of him. Well, tonight you got 92 receiving yards on 6 receptions, and now St. Brown holds the NFL's most receptions through 5 career seasons. Even when you think this man is down, He is not. Proves to be one of the best.
Warrior. And Danny, I came up on the elevator with his pops. Me and Dad were talking. Dad didn't even know what to expect out of his son today. He is a warrior. To me, he is the heart and soul of this team. Not just the offense, but of this team. And when he goes, we go. So I know the guys were happy, relieved that Amon-Ra was able to go out there and still, 70%, probably 80%, and he's still putting up those type of numbers again. Just so proud of him, and I call him a warrior.
Dan Campbell mentioned this was a complimentary football game.
Yes.
Defense held their own, especially in that linebacker core that we talk about week after week. These two, Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes, came up clutch in the takeaway game. Campbell forcing a fumble. Lions scored a touchdown off of that. Derek Barnes comes up with a big interception. Lions convert and score off of that. These two guys finally are getting into that takeaway category, and that made the difference tonight.
You're exactly right. And when coach say complimentary football, again, that gave the offense, these turnovers gave the offense a short field to work with. And the offense, they capitalized off that short field. So just a great job of coming up with turnovers, something that we need to flip the field like that. And Amik Roberts, I mean, great coverage on that play. He was the one that deflected the ball for Derek Barnes to catch that. So again, it's just nice to see all three phases of this team play at such a high level today.
This week, defensive back DJ Reed told me that they are going to deploy a different method on the best pass offense in the NFL. When you have two receivers like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, you've got to do something different. DJ Reed was tasked with trying to contain CeeDee Lamb. You know what Dak Prescott did? He just kept going back to Lamb. 121 receiving yards. DJ Reed, they threw him into the fire, but you know what? He delivered in the fourth quarter with that interception to give his offense back the ball, and Jared Goff was able to put this team into a victory formation.
Yeah, Danny, he took that ball away on that interception, so it was just great to see. I thought Amik played well. Brian Branch, BB, man, he is always playing well. I thought he was the tone setter back there, but DJ, taking on some of the toughest receivers in this league, like you say, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, even their tight end, he's a very good player. But we were able to slow those guys down just enough for our offense to continue to put points up, sticky defense all game long, and just the different schemes that Calvin Shepard came up with, deploying the linebackers, sending them through the A-gap, dropping back sometime in man, dropping back sometime in zone. I thought everybody just played so well on the defensive side of the ball, and it was going to take this type of effort to slow that Dallas Cowboys team down.
Defensive tackle, or should we call him defensive end, Aleem McNeil. He's been lining up all across that defensive line. He was able to get in on the sack party tonight. One sack on Dak Prescott, loss of 16 yards for the Cowboys. What are you seeing out of Mack and the way he commands that interior D-line?
Control, Danny, that they control the inside. Him, DJ Reader, Roy Lopez, Talik Williams, they control the interior of that Dallas offensive line. Like you said, Javonte Williams had a tough time running the ball. I know that's what Dallas wanted to come into the game to establish him, because he has been running pretty good over the last couple of weeks. But when you have your interior defensive linemen playing the way our interior defensive linemen play, they outshine their big money guys on the interior. It was just great to see. And, man, that's what we expect out of Dancing Bear and the rest of his crew in the middle, and they deliver.
Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark were not the men of the hour.
I didn't
hear
their
it was
names.
Detroit Lions.
I mean, I really didn't hear their names tonight, Danny. And we had a couple of nice runs up the middle of their defense. So, again, the three guys on the inside who's taken a lot of criticism, right? Graham Glasgow and, Tate Ratledge and all those guys, they taken a lot of
at left guard.
Yeah, exactly right. Having to go in there, a rookie too. So I thought those guys played complimentary football on the offensive line, and that's like working like a hand in the glove, and they did a great job tonight.
We'll get to more of this Detroit Lions offense. Quarterback Jared Goff is standing by the podium. When he gets up there, we'll make sure you hear from QB1 on his big day of securing a Lions win here inside Ford Field. We'll be right back after this.
Guys, your prior success has put you at the top of the power rankings list. That's a good thing, right?
Well, just means you've gone from the underdog to the favorite.
But those expectations come from prior success, so that's okay.
What about Cure? Where do you guys rank on the power list?
Actually, we just got named by Forbes as one of the best car insurance companies in America.
Now you're the favorite.
Guess we have a lot in common.
Go Cure.
Go Lions.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. The rookie wide receiver, Isaac Tesla. Welcome back to the show, Lomas, in case you missed that. Tesla continues to be an end zone target for Jared Goff that he can go to. Tesla, 4th touchdown of the season in the 3rd quarter, capitalizing off of that Derek Barnes interception that put Detroit up 27-9. Just 2 receptions, averaged 10 yards a catch. What is he turning into?
You know, a scoring machine, because it seemed like all his catches are for touchdowns. But, you know, I think, like I always say, Danny, a rookie, it's a learning curve in the NFL. I don't care who you are. Yes, he's been going through that learning curve, but now it seems like that learning curve is speeding up a little bit more. You can see Dan Campbell installing him in more plays. He started tonight. So you can see him kind of getting his feet up under him, and they seem to be going to him a little bit more. Like you say, only 2 catches, but one of them was for a touchdown. So he's reliable. And again, when you get a guy in the end zone, a big body guy like that, that you could count on when you get close to the end zone, man, that has to be comforting. So I'm liking the way he's starting to develop, especially as the season goes along. He won't be considered a rookie pretty much longer.
Hey, and you know, if he continues to turn out big plays, you deploy him towards the end zone with J-Mo, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. Defenses don't know who's catching the ball.
Come on, and especially with us not having Sam Laporta, Brock Wright being out, us not really having our tight ends to kind of use in that red zone. If you got receivers that you can deploy out like that, I think it makes us even more lethal.
Well, some tight ends got in on the catches as well. Ross Dwelly, Anthony Frisker. Hello, Detroit Lions. Some more pass catchers making their name here. Detroit, after 3 games at home, we've got to go on the road. Out West is calling the Detroit Lions and the LA Rams with a very familiar face in quarterback Matthew Stafford, whose name is in the MVP race right now. Rams are in the playoffs as of right now. Of course, Detroit's still in the hunt. The season ended today. Detroit is not in. This is another big-time NFC matchup, Lomas.
You know what, Danny? I think we'll probably be saying this throughout the rest of this season. A big-time game, a game that we have to have, and no bigger game than going out to L.A. and facing Matthew Stafford, a guy that hasn't beaten us since he's left here. I know he's chomping at the bit. Like you say, he's playing at such a high level. He is a guy that is in the MVP race right now, and you know, we're going to have to probably deploy more of the same of what we did tonight to get Matthew Stafford off his spot. He has weapons. When you talk about Devontae that he has out there, and he had Puka Nacua out there. So he has some guys that he has to get the ball to, and of course his coach Sean McVay is one of the brightest minds in this game. So we're going to have another tall test, but guess what? We seem to pass those tests every time they're put up against us, and I expect us to do the same out in L.A.
I love that Jameson Williams is really coming on here in the season because his cousin, Kyron Williams, first cousin is leading the Rams in that ground game right now. In Dan Campbell's presser, he talked a lot about his QB1, Jared Goff, how this offense went tonight as Jared Goff went tonight. He refuses to lose and to be beat in these big-time situations. He bounced back over 300 passing yards today, 1 touchdown. That's 19 straight games with a passing touchdown from this man right here, Lomas.
The smooth operator, as I love to call Jared, because, again, you never know when we're up and down with his expression. But, again, like having another offensive coordinator on the field, this guy is such a great competitor. Jared is great at getting these guys in the position they need to be in. He's such a guy that you can look at across from in the huddle and know that you have that confidence that if the game is on the line, if you need a big throw from this guy, he's going to make that big throw for you. So just so proud of Jared, how he's played this year. And again, I always say he's so underrated. People talk about the weapons that he has around him. Well, somebody has to get the ball to these weapons that he has around him. And Jared's been doing that at a high level pretty much this whole season.
The only chance Goff had to make those big plays here today was be decisive, have a quick release with that defensive line running at him and a banged up O-line. And you saw him adjust to that fairly quickly there in the first quarter after some pressures.
No, great point, Danny. And look, a lot of those throws he made, the wide receivers weren't even out there cuts, and the ball was on the way there. To me, that's confidence, knowing that your guy's going to be where he's at. That's timing of knowing that guy's going to be there. That's chemistry from working with that guy that you know he's going to be on the spot that he needs to be on. And Jared was letting it rip. I mean, he was letting it rip tonight, and I love to see that because, again, going into this part of the season, think about it, the Rams defense, one of the top defenses in the league, so he's going to face even more pressure next week when we get out to L.A., and we're going to need Jared to be on top of his game just like he was tonight.
QB1 must be singing some Christmas carols in the locker room because we're still waiting for him to get to the podium. You know what? When you play like that, take your time. Let's take a look at some upcoming games this weekend. Detroit, of course, kicking off week 14 with a big W and staying in this one. Dolphins taking on the Jets here Sunday, 1 p.m. Bears, Packers, Sunday, that 4:25 slot. That is a major one.
Huge game right there. Never thought I would be pulling for the Green Bay Packers.
Aren't ya?
Yeah, but I'm pulling for them on this one, Danny.
Oh, man. LA Rams, they will take on the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, that should be an easy dub for the Rams. However, they did just lose to the Panthers. No one is safe right now, Lomas.
You were so right about that. If you don't come ready to play, you could lose.
Commanders, Vikings, another NFC matchup.
Boo.
Vikings are kind of out of this.
Yeah,
they're out of this thing.
They're behind us.
There's not much to say to that one. So this will be a good slate of games. Sorry about it. Here's some AFC matchups here. Kansas City, Texans. That could be a great one on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
You never know.
The Texans have a great defense, and Kansas City, they're fighting for their lives right now.
Joey B, Josh Allen will duke it out Sunday at 1 p.m. I don't know if that's going to be a good matchup, but I sure hope it is.
You know, I think it will be because with Joe Burrow being back, man, that's just a different team.
It sure is. Seahawks taking on the Falcons. Steelers will come to town here soon. They're taking on Baltimore. That'll be a good matchup.
That should
Aaron
be
Rodgers,
a good game.
Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson.
and they're fighting for first place. I mean, Baltimore is playing a lot better now, but Pittsburgh, they're in first place right now. I guess they want to stay in first place, so they need to win that game.
They sure do. All right, QB1 has emerged. Yes. Let's hear from Jared Goff.
Jared, what was the big message this week? Now, everybody knew this was going to be an important game, at least on the outside of the building. But what was it like on the inside?
Yeah, it was good. It felt like we got back to kind of who we are earlier in the week. Addressed a lot of what happened in that Packers game, what went wrong, we could have done better, and I think you could see an uptick in urgency from everybody. It was good.
You guys put the ball in the air a lot. I think it was just 6 rushing attempts after you went up 27-9. Was that part of the game plan, or is that just kind of how things went?
Yeah, part of it. I don't know if we wanted to be that lopsided, but we definitely wanted to get after him through the air, and I thought we did.
Was St. Brown as big of a lift beyond him being there, but just his presence?
Yeah, I think so, and I think obviously his play speaks for itself tonight, but like bigger than anything is everyone knowing what he's kind of dealing with and him being like, I'm going to be out there and figuring out a way to get out there, and not many guys built like him.
With the stakes of this game, just what did that mean to this team to see him tough it out?
Yeah, I mean, he's that type of guy, and it was cool to see him, you know, say like, you're not going to keep me off the field type of thing. Early in the week though, it was truly, I believe, 50-50, if not less than that. And as the week went on, he's like, I'm playing, and sure enough, he got out there and played well.
That play in the final 100 minutes where you decided to go to him and say, you know, the conventional wisdom is run the ball, take the time off the clock and everything, but what was the thinking behind that, and how confident were you in that?
Yeah, I loved the call. I really did. I thought that was awesome by Dan. You know, he's our guy, and the way that they were playing the run, they were so downhill. You don't want to wait till third down when they know you're going to potentially throw it. You do it on second down, and it was a great call. He's wide open and made a great play.
It was
touchdowns. How do you guys, not take him, what he's doing for granted in the grand scheme of just all the records he's breaking, everything he's doing?
Yeah.
Just speak about him and that guy.
It's hard not to take him for granted. I mean, he's so good every week and does a great job in everything we ask him. I think, we would have probably wanted to get more from him in the run game. There just wasn't much there, but the pass game and him being able to get in the end zone was awesome. And I thought Demo ran incredibly. He complimented him really well, and when he came in, it was really good.
Amon-Ra played as well as Amir. I mean, everybody. But it seemed like every catch Jamison had was a drive extender.
Yeah.
His evolution, how much are you looking for him in those plays?
Awesome. It's awesome. It really is. He's becoming that player we always knew he could be over the course of this season. He's as reliable as a guy as I've ever played with at this point. Third down, fourth down, don't matter. He'll make the play. He'll show up. He's an energy guy. He's a juice guy. He's confident right now. He's on his details. He's doing everything right. It's awesome.
Another new offensive line combination today. Maybe a little bit of a rough start for them, but it seems like protection was pretty darn good there in the second half.
Yeah, they settled in really nicely. I know they were playing around the left guard there with Clone and Frazier, but both guys, they settled in nicely. There were some mistakes, certainly, that want to be cleaned up, but yeah, for the most part, did a good job.
Jared, you guys never, at least for 3 years, lose back-to-back games, and I think that's not by coincidence. Is it the uptick in urgency you mentioned? Is it just by happenstance?
Yeah, I think it is a kind of culmination of who we are. I don't think that happens on accident. I think it was 15 times now in a row. That's happened. Yeah, I don't think it happens on accident, and it's who we are. It's what we believe in. I think when those losses happen, they suck, but we must do as good a job as any team of learning from that and coming back the next week and putting our head down.
There's a debate online right now about the end of the first half play to Tesla where you kind of had him open there, but some people think you were throwing it out of bounds on purpose, and then other people think maybe you overthrew it. Was there too much mustard on that one?
I mean, who's debating? Like people on Twitter? Yeah, so if I could have had like a split second longer, I would have thrown him a touchdown. I just wanted to get rid of the ball at that point. I didn't want to take a sack. I wanted it back when I got to the sideline to be able to put it out there. I was just throwing it a him or nobody ball, ended up being out of bounds. But yeah, I would have liked to put that in the end zone.
To beat the Cowboys, you guys been out in Dallas the last 3 seasons just to actually get them here at home in Detroit. How was that for you guys?
It was great. It was great. I thought our fans showed up. It was awesome. It really was. Yeah, being able to beat them. They're as hot as a team as there is in our league right now, and maybe we can become that right now.
I know this is not really the position you guys want to be in with some of these losses, but is there
Say that
something?
again, I'm sorry?
I know this isn't really the position you guys want to be in with some of these losses, but is there something about having your backs to the wall, about every game being a big game, that has a way of elevating the intensity and bringing out the best in guys?
Sure, I think so. Yeah, I think it does, and I think, if we do this correctly over this last little stretch of the season, we want to kind of be doing this right now. Like, okay, we just scored 44. Our defense played well. We won that game. We want to kind of be on this up ramp by the time we hit the playoffs, where we're this dangerous team who can kind of go toe-to-toe with anybody, and that's what you want, and we're right there. Yeah, if we're able to, win one at a time, who knows what can happen? There's plenty of games left, and we're playing well, but sorry to answer your question, yes, it does uptick things a little bit and gives us a little bit more motivation. Thanks, guys.
Detroit kicks Week 14 off with a big win. Dare we say season saver?
Yes, Danny. You can say season saver. Again, I say playoff mode. We're in playoff mode right now. That was a playoff type of game that we played today, and we came through.
Single game elimination is the mindset going forward, according to LB.
And can I say one thing?
Yes.
Can we please give Tom Kennedy some love?
He had some fantastic returns today.
Oh, yes, he did, Danny. He set us up. I thought if I had an MVP for the game, it probably would be Tom Kennedy because of him, where he put us at in field position time after time after time. So kudos to you, Tom Kennedy.
3 returns, 120 yards. You ain't lying.
That's awesome. That's
LB,
awesome.
final thoughts from this 44-30 victory over the Dallas Cowboys.
Danny, a must win. We haven't lost back-to-back games in probably, 57 games. There you go. I love that. I think we tied the New England Patriots. So, again, this team, every time we face adversity, we know how to deal with adversity, and we come out on the other end of that adversity. I'm so proud of the guys, the coaching staff. I'm proud of this whole stadium because they said come in white. And look at that, big fella, we came in white. We came in white. It was a whiteout. We took care of business. Now on to the next feat, which is to go out to LA and get another win.
Detroit's going to have to take care of business against the Rams. They want to continue to save their season. It is late. We're going to get out of here. For Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Hope you enjoyed that Detroit Lions Live post-game show presented by Curado Insurance. We will see you on the road Week 15 at the LA Rams. Good night.